George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
That appraiser that you sent out here, George, he's stupid. I mean, he doesn't know anything. I hear that probably about once a month, whether it's a purchase or a refinance. Not so much from the real estate agents anymore, but especially in a refinance market, every borrower thinks that their home is worth more than what it is. So why don't we discuss in the creditjungle.com today, how does an appraiser arrive at his value and what are the elements that are important? So anyway, thanks for dropping in. And this is kind of a sensitive subject because, everybody feels like their home has some intrinsic value, that there are some things that they have done to their home, like their garden or their garage or the way that they finished their basement or their landscaping or their granite countertops or the expensive cabinets or the appliances or the other things that they've bought, that they feel that adds more value to their house than their neighbor's house. Because let's face it, their neighbors don't have anything in their house that's nice, because we know, because we've been there. So rather than go through all the elements of an appraisal, I just want to bring up a few things, just very, very general things, and these are the biggest beefs that most people get on, is that an appraiser is looking for comparable sales. So what they're looking for on that, and I'm going to pull up an appraisal here, and I'm going to pull up page 2 of a 1004. That is the standard Fannie Mae Freddie Mac form that every appraiser has to use and has to fill out. And we're not going to go through all the elements of this, but this is a home that recently appraised in a nice east side area of Salt Lake City. Not a very large house, only about 1,100 square feet on the main floor, and a basement that is partially finished. And the home sold for $449,000. So welcome to Salt Lake City if you thought this was the land of the affordable housing. But anyway, but this home is definitely worth it. And if you look at the homes that it compared to, these people are actually getting a pretty good deal on it. But as far as distance and type of comps, what an appraiser ideally wants to find, if he's looking in a metropolitan or a suburban area, they want to find comparable sales that have sold within 3 months and within 3 blocks. So 3 blocks is typically a half of a mile. So they want to try to find the comparable sales within a half a mile radius, and they want to find them that if they have sold within the last 3 months. Now they can double that. They can go back twice as far. They can go back 6 months and they can go 6 blocks. And in rural areas, it's common to go into a neighboring city, which could be several miles away, to be able to try to find that. But just because you know that there's a house a mile down the road that last year that's similar to yours and it sold for $1 million and therefore yours is worth $1 million, it's really going to be irrelevant because it's too far away and it's too long ago to be considered a comparable sale. So let's get that out of the way. But then what I want to do is bring your attention down to about the middle of the page where it's got the room count, and it talks about above grade room count. And then we have this term, gross living area, GLA. And I have so many people that'll call me up and they just say, hey, George, your appraiser is clueless. Okay, my house is 2,000 square feet. And the appraiser said it's 1,120 square feet. So if you look in that first column there where it shows the subject property, gross living area of the home is 1,120 square feet. So what is the appraiser measuring that's 1,120 square feet? Well, if this is a single family detached residence, it is the exterior perimeter or area of the house. So if it's 30 by 35 or whatever it is that we're coming up and getting that on there, if it's a rectangle, then that's what it is. But people say, well, wait a minute, I have a basement. My house is 2,000 square feet. Why is he telling me my home is 1,120 square feet? Well, the gross living area is the area that is above grade. So in other words, if whatever is at grade level, the amount of the square footage that the appraiser uses to compare your home with and its other homes is the GLA is above grade square footage. And you think, well, that's not fair. Well, yeah, it is, because if every other home is compared on the same basis, then you're all being treated equal. So the difference on here comes where you look at some of the basement square footage. So if you look at this one, you can see that there's 812 square feet in the basement there, and it looks like it is partially finished. It shows that there's about 528 square feet of it that is finished, that there is one bedroom, and that there is a bathroom down there in the basement, and the rest of it is unfinished. And if you look at the home right next to it, comparable sale number 1 on the column there, you have a home that has 1,919 square feet, but it has no basement. So how does the appraiser adjust for that? So he brings down the value of the comparable sale on the square footage there, adjusts it down $55,900 because it doesn't have, the comparable sale is brought down by that because it's got less square footage, but the comparable sale is increased by about $36,000 because it does have a basement. So you've got a net effect there of about a $20,000 adjustment there on that particular one, not counting some of the other adjustments in there. So I don't want to go into all of these other little pieces there because I'm sure that there are appraisers and real estate agents out there that have a whole bunch of videos that would go into how a comparable market analysis works, what are the elements of an appraisal and everything else. And yeah, your home really is 2,000 square feet, but from an appraiser standpoint, the gross living area is going to be that area that is above grade. So I think the two most important things to remember that when an appraiser comes out to your house is that, you know, he's really looking for the most recent sales and the closest sales. So if your neighbor fire sold his home across the street from you because there was a divorce situation or a foreclosure or something like that, and that happened 6 weeks ago, the appraiser cannot ignore that. He has to put that in the appraisal report. Now, he can make some comments, you know, about the condition of the home or that it was a distress sale, and he can make a little bit of an adjustment for that, but he can't exclude it as a comparable sale. So you just got to understand that these are guidelines that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac set up, and if an appraiser continually goes out there and just does stuff willy-nilly and says, well, 2 years ago the exact same floor plan sold for this, and he uses that, you know, he's going to lose his appraiser license. So he's not going to be able to keep that if he doesn't follow the rules. So hopefully that helps understand the appraisal process a little bit. I've got several friends of mine that are appraisers, and you know, they're actually very sharp people and they work very hard, and I think they get you know, they earn every single dollar that they do. And a lot of people worry that they come into the house and, gosh, he wasn't even here for 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. You know, they've done most of their work before they come to your house. They've looked at all the comparable sales. They've made the adjustments. They're taking the square footage off what the county shows, and they will come out there and in a heartbeat, they will take that measurement and they'll find out if there's any adjustment that needs to be made from that, if there's improvements that you've made with or without a building permit, because they will check that. And they will put together a report, and it's actually quite comprehensive. But they're people too, and they're going to make mistakes. And if there's some features of the home or some things that you feel are important to let the appraiser know about, you can certainly inform them when they come to the house. But as a lender, part of the appraisal management system that is with the appraisals now is that I can't sit there and tell an appraiser, hey, I need you to hit sales price on this home, and if you don't, I'm not going to pay you. That's what started causing the crash in the appraisal and the mortgage market back in 2006, 2007. And so there's a detachment now from the appraisers that the lender does not have, other than paying them the money, that we don't have a direct influence over them in selecting who we use or in dictating the terms that we need to have in order to use their services. So hopefully that's helpful for you today. Help you understand a little bit of a complicated process, but it's standardized for everybody, so everybody's getting treated the same way. So don't feel picked on, and hopefully I get a chance to talk with you soon. This is George Anderson at thecreditjungle.com. You can push button, get mortgage professional, and I would love to talk with you about your situation. Have a great day.